So we are solving May June 2023 variant 1 2. Right? इसमें वो कह रहे हैं Gusta has started to write an algorithm using pseudocode. It will input, okay, it will input 6 numbers. So we have to input 6 numbers, all less than 1000, and output the smallest value. So you have to see what the algorithm is requiring. Complete the algorithm using pseudocode. So what they've done is they have actually initialized over here. They initialized a count. Now, why do we need a count? Because actually count will be used because it will input 6 numbers. Okay. So we have to count how many numbers have to input. So whenever there is a restriction, there is a limitation, we obviously have to use a count. पहले आपको ध्यान में बात रखनी पड़ेगी. ठीक है? Let's say this question instead of 6 marks was of 8 marks. आपको खुद पहले करना है initialization. मैंने आपको बार-बार कहा. You have to initialize it. Okay, you have to if there is
सर आपकी आवाज थोड़ी सी फेड कर रही है.
आवाज सॉरी
थोड़ी सी क्लियर नहीं आ रही.
जी अब आ रही है.
यस सर.
लीना साजाना can you hear me?
यस सर सही आ रही है.
ठीक है. तो इसमें तो all less than okay, you do know when we use this where this means
सर आपकी आवाज की वॉल्यूम एकदम से कम हो जाती है.
अच्छा फिर एक काम करते हैं. मैं ना इसको मैं I have to then type it in. ठीक है. मैं I problem. One second. जी अब आपको सही आ रही होगी. Yes or no? अब आ रही है सही?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, there's something wrong with my, I don't know. My laptop doesn't like me using stylus. I always want to use a stylus and show off, and I can't do that. Anyway, okay. So yes, what do we have to do? आपको पता होगा we have used loops, for loop, precondition, post-condition loop. Okay, as far as this loop is concerned, this is technically your precondition. Why is a precondition loop? Because you have a condition first. मैं वैसे extensive discussion कर रहा हूँ, उन्होंने नहीं पूछा. Important चीज क्या है? How can we design an algorithm? So सबसे पहले उन्होंने कहा है कि it will input 6 numbers. So what will I do? I will obviously first of all write over here is input, and I will write is let's say number. You can use any word, okay? But whatever word keyword that you use has to be appropriate, should be meaningful, okay? So do you agree with me कि हम input number लिखेंगे? Yes or no after this? Input 6 numbers? Yeah, but after doing that, okay, what do we have to do? Think over. All less than 1000, okay, and output the smallest value. So when we input all the numbers, what is the question asking us to do? Just socho. So whenever I enter numbers, मैं अगर लिखता हूँ उसमें 900 acceptable होगा. If I enter is 1600, it is not less than 1000. So it will not be acceptable. So if I want any particular value to be acceptable and not acceptable, then what do I have to do? I have to you have to use an if statement. I will say is that the number that I'm entering, is that number actually less than the smallest? उन्होंने define किया, मैंने define नहीं किया हुआ. Okay, what is smallest? Smallest is the number that we have defined as a limit, which was 1000. Yes or no? Okay, so smallest. So then what we'll say is, okay, then if अगर आपने if के साथ then use करना है ना, there is a rule that you always have to indent. So I will be indenting this, and I will write THEN, and THEN has to be capital. If has to be capital. Keep that in mind. While has to be capital. आपके ये जो word keywords हैं, they have to be capitalized. Okay, so if number that I've entered is less than this than the smallest number, then what do we do? What do you think? So what will we do? Then we will assign. Okay, so because question keh raha hai, read again. It says all less than 1000 and output the smallest value. So if the value that I've entered is less than this means it has to be displayed. So how do I display it? I can say over here is smallest value, वो ये मैंने arrow use किया actually, is the number. So जो भी होगा number that I've entered will be, जो input जो भी number किया वो assign हो जाएगा smallest को. Is that clear? And then we simply end if, and now the very important part would be what? मुझे इसके साथ use करना पड़ेगा count. आपको याद है हमने किया हुआ ये जावा में किया हुआ है. Okay, count plus 1. Okay, and then whenever you have is अब मेरे को जे मैं इसको यहाँ किस तरह लाऊं, yeah, so I have to write over here is end while, or we can simply print. Actually Python में तो यूं होता है, मगर इसमें we can use print smallest. So beta, this is the answer of it. This is your 6 marks question. Yes, so it's, I don't think so it's very technical. आपने इससे पहले, yeah, obviously you should know कि how do we initialize. You should know what a loop is. You should know what a selection statement is. You already know that because you've done Java. Okay, so हमने input number किया, उसके बाद if statement use की, if the statement is true then क्या हो, नहीं, और उसके बाद end if करे, फिर वो क्या करे, loop run होता रहे. Okay, unless and until क्या होगा, if the number is less than smallest. ठीक है, तो जब ये statement false होगी वो end कर देगा और print कर देगा. Did you get my point? I will send you more activities, don't worry. I'll send you like 6-7 more activities of pseudocode and flowcharts to practice more, क्योंकि पासवर्ड में इतने काफी नहीं है, तो मैं आपको काफी और भेजता हूँ. हाँ दिया, get my point बेटा? तो आपको काफी
Yes sir, और usually shapes की भी फॉर्म में क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं ना,
तो आप flowchart
मुझे
की बात,
स्टार्ट और स्टॉप, वो उसका
हाँ?
भी हम कर सकते हैं क्वेश्चन.
You talking about flowcharts?
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to discuss this. So all of you know what a flowchart is. Do you remember the basic shapes of a flowchart? Everyone who is with me right now. Remember the Fatma Gulzar, Duisha, आपको याद है सारा, Lina, Zara? Or you want me to recap that once more?
Sir, recap.
Recap that. It will just take me a while. Just give me a second. Let me recap that again. And then I can solve at least 2 papers of flowchart. Hadia, that would be fine. And I can share more activities with you.
Yes sir.
The exam से पहले अगर आपको और भी जरूरत पड़ी तो मुझे बता देना, we'll keep another class, no problem. Okay, so ये होगा बेटा chart arrow. ये pseudocode guide, pseudocode by Mr. Saem, ये भी मैं आपको भेज देता हूँ सारे, ठीक है? Okay, so I'm discussing flowcharts. जी. जी तो बेटा, as far as your flowcharts are concerned, there are certain rules of writing a flowchart. Obviously, when you write a flowchart, all boxes of flowcharts connected with arrows. You know that flowchart symbols have an entry at the top of the symbol with no other entry. So yes, they always enter. It's multiple entries नहीं होती flowchart, just one top. ठीक है? The decision symbol has 2. So decision symbol आपको पता है जो kite होता है, ठीक है? It has obviously 2, which is if statement. So if it's true or false, so it's no or yes. ठीक है? वो आपके decision symbol होता है. अभी मैं आपको सारे दिखाता हूँ. Generally, flowchart will top from top to bottom, but obviously bottom top नहीं होता. Exactly, ठीक है? Connectors are used to break. For example, from one page, I'll show you what connectors. They're circles. So if your flowchart is too lengthy, you can actually take it to the next page. You won't get that case, okay? Because you won't get very lengthy one. Subroutines क्या होते हैं? आपके procedures होते हैं, ठीक है? So subroutines के आप is actually shown through rectangle with 2 lines within it at the ends. Okay, so subroutine कहते हैं, procedure कहते हैं. Procedure हो गया, subroutine हो गया, same thing. It's a function. Okay. All flowcharts start with terminal or predefined process. Fine. All flowcharts end with a terminal. ठीक है. Now this is what we have. The terminal is the start or the end. The first one that you see. The second that you see is an activity. It's a process. The third that you see, उसकी मैं बात करता है, that's a decision point, okay, where we use the if then else or probably switch statement. A sub process जहाँ हमने procedure की बात की, हमने subroutine की बात की. This is the shape we use. जो मैं कह रहा था rectangle में there are two lines at the end. That's a sub process. Yes, obviously you have to remember the lines, the shapes. कोई भी document है, electronic document है आपको, अगर उसके बारे में आपने जिक्र करना है, तो we will use this shape. Database के लिए हम हमेशा cylinder use करते हैं. Okay? If you want to input और output अपने display कराना है, रिपोर्ट के फॉर्म में, किसी भी फॉर्म में यूजर को इनपुट या आउटपुट. सो इनपुट 10 numbers, we'll use this. Output displayed, will use this shape. ठीक है? Connector. So if I want to connect one flowchart to the next page, मैं ये connector लगा के अगले पेज पे connect कर सकता. Is this all clear, everyone? Should I continue? Right? Okay. Next पे आ गए. So you look at this one. बड़ा simple सा flowchart है. जो मैंने start वाला use किया, उसके ये जो sides should have been more curved. I should have done that. Like over here that you see. So start kiya output. Output actually means what? Output actually means is what comes on your screen, what the computer asks you. Output का मतलब नहीं आपका होता है input. So when the system says what is the capital of Wales, so it's a question the system is asking you. Okay, system is interacting with you. So it's an output. Input you will enter. Okay, store answer variable called this. So it's a process. So जब भी process होगा, you use this rectangle. Then you have a condition. A answer is the answer Cardiff or not. If it's Cardiff, true, then output the correct answer and you end. If it's false, then output wrong answer entered. Very simple flowchart we have over here. A basic construct of flowchart. Get the point? अब ये आपको simple question आ सकता है कि draw a flowchart where the system would ask you the capital. If you answer the right answer, it would say correct answer. Otherwise, it's a wrong answer. But simple. 3 mark question, 4 mark question. ये ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. So find the radius of a circle. अगर if this sort of question comes in, बड़ा simple सा, basic में बात करूं पहले. So start किया, okay, input किया, ठीक है. Sorry, read. What I mean to say is we can input the area. फिर आपका process हुआ और फिर print कर दिया. ठीक है. Converting. So ये भी वैसे ही हो गया case. Let me discuss some more. Yeah. So start किया, हमने A B enter किया. If it's true or if it's false. Basic सही है. Nothing much. Basic. Yeah. Look at this.
Read write हमारा input और output ही होता है.
Sorry बेटा.
Read और write हमारा input output ही होता है.
आपने input output use करना है. आप read नहीं use करोगे. आप input output use करोगे. ठीक है? Okay. Don't write read. Okay. So start हमने see. अच्छा. So process because I'm declaring. So whenever you have to initialize a variable or a construct, आपने ये shape use करनी है. ये shape दोबारा. Process है ना basically. ठीक है? So then I will say enter score. So ये क्या है? We are actually calculating the average from 25 exam scores. ठीक है? So obviously I will enter the exam score. Then what I'll do is I need to find the average. So I'll say sum is equals to sum plus s. And then why do I have a counter? अब इसमें दो चीजें हैं. Counter is because I want to keep a track of 25. Sum is because the question is actually asking me to find the average. So obviously average निकलेगी sum करके. So I have to sum at the same time and I have to keep a count at the same time. Because this is why sum and C have been declared and they have to be incremented. And this is why they are in rectangle because they are actually both a process. Am I right till here? So before the yellow part, is this clear, everyone? So is C equal to 25? No, so it will keep on doing this. If it's yes, okay, I didn't have enough space, corrector की जरूरत नहीं है. If it's yes, if I've actually entered this, so हम करेंगे sum divided by 55 and I can print the average. ठीक है? But obviously ये भी आपको चीजें आनी चाहिए because what are the advantages of flowcharts is it helps in communication. It helps you, it's a very good way of diagrammatical representation of how data flows within the system. So you can actually see how the system works. It gives you a very good way to do effective analysis. Okay, you can really understand the problem really fast and do your analysis on it. So it's a very good way to document your program. So in system lifecycle, whenever you have to create documentation, flowchart is a very important way to document our program. Okay, it's always very important that whenever we do the maintenance part in our system lifecycle, so if we have a flowchart and I want to maintain my system after a while, if I forget how the system works, to maintain it, reading the flowchart can help me to maintain. So wherever your flowchart can be an advantage, we will talk about that. Okay? Okay. Coding. So yeah, if you have a flowchart, it can help you to write a pseudocode. So you can convert a flowchart into a code as well. So it helps you in the coding of the program. Obviously, you will understand what the program is. ठीक है. So अब हम ऐसा करते हैं, हम डायरेक्टली ना so ये और एग्जांपल्स है, मैं आपके साथ ये स्लाइड शेयर कर दूंगा, इसमें और भी होंगी, आप देख लेना. मैं चाहता हूँ डायरेक्टली हम ना एक और पेपर पे आ जाए. So what we can do is एक क्वेश्चन आया था, आई थिंक सो मई जून 22 में था या मार्च में था. लेट मी सी. Let me close this so that there's no confusion. No, था इसमें, as far as I remember. Yes, there is. Let me just download this. Now, I would like you to interact with me, okay, and be a part of it, so that if we're doing it, तो उसका advantage भी हो. ये ठीक है. अच्छा बेटा, that's question. So, just fine. G. Josephine has started to draw a flowchart which inputs 10 numbers and outputs the largest value, something like I just showed you, right? Complete the flowchart by filling the empty boxes and placing yes and no as appropriate in the diagram. ऐसे yes and no भी place करने हैं और empty boxes को भी place करना है. 7 marks के हम यूं start करते हैं. कैसे करें? यूं. हाँ ठीक है. अब देखो. So what is the program doing? Okay. Complete the flowchart by filling up the empty boxes. इसके पहले तो कुछ scenario नहीं है. The largest value. ठीक है. Right. G. What will we have here? Think over. I'll take your time. Step by step. So मैं चुप कर जाता हूँ. Please कुछ सोचना है आपने. You will not open the marking scheme and refer to it, फिर फायदा बेटा नहीं होगा. Please don't do that. Okay, let's learn. तो पहले हमने क्या, हमने start किया. You would agree with me. You would agree with me is that every time we have to initialize, and we're initializing the count and the max. अच्छा, then why do we have the count and the max? अभी आपको बताया था कि we have to input 10 numbers. ठीक है ना? Okay, and output the largest. So whenever we have to input a limited amount of numbers or whatever, count has to be there to keep a count. चलो वो तो हो गया. Largest value. So do I have a variable largest? Large रख लो नाम उसका, max रख लो. Max तो appropriate होता है. So yes, I'll use max. So max will also be 0 and count will also be 0. Do you agree with me over here with the process initialization? Yes or no?
Yes.
ठीक है. अच्छा, उसके बाद क्या हुआ? Question is saying what? So obviously we have to input. तो obviously उसके बाद user will input. तो वो तो उन्होंने खुद किया हुआ है हमारे लिए. ठीक है. अगर ना भी किया होता, let's say ये पूरा क्वेश्चन आपने करना होता है, 10 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन आप कर देते. बिल्कुल कर सकते थे, कोई मुश्किल काम नहीं है. ओके, मगर इजियर है तो उल्टा. तो देन आफ्टर वी इनपुट, what will be the condition be? What do you think the condition would be? Yes, Durashavar beta, what do you think so? What will the condition be?
Is max greater than 10?
Exactly. Is our in number beta is number that we have entered, is it less than equal to max? Okay, does this make sense or not? Okay, and we always put a question mark, remember that, because in a decision symbol it's a question. So whenever we have a question, it should be like this. Yeah. So does it make sense what I'm saying? Is number, what the number that we've entered, is it less than or equal to max? Am I right? Take your time, no problem. Is this not what they're asking from us? Yes or no, Lina?
Yes, sir.
Adia, do you agree with me? Yes, number
Yes,
is
sir.
less than max. ठीक हो गया? अच्छा, तो obviously if it's no, तो मैं यहाँ no लिख दूंगा. If it's no, तो क्या करें? इस नंबर तो हम क्या करेंगे? No करें, तो हम करेंगे to number. Okay, if it's not less than, it will be assigned to the number. Otherwise obviously हम करेंगे वही count is equals to count plus 1, ये प्रोसेस होगा. और फिर एक और कंडीशन आ रही है हमारी. व्हाट इज दैट कंडीशन? दो कंडीशन है ना. फर्स्ट वन, इनपुट 10 नंबर्स एंड आउटपुट द लार्जेस्ट वैल्यू. ठीक है, तो देखो, वी हैव टू एक्चुअली, ये हम जब कह रहे हैं ना, इज नंबर लेस देन द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू. ठीक है, तो हमने लार्जेस्ट वैल्यू ढूंढनी है. ठीक है, तो उसके लिए व्हाट वी विल डू इज, तो हमें काउंट भी यूज करना पड़ेगा. हम कहेंगे यहाँ इज आवर काउंट इक्वल टू 10, इक्वल टू 10. is it 10? अगर वो है तो we can simply print the max. That's it. This is what we'll do. जी, ये आपका था 7 मार्क्स का. इसको दोबारा एक बार देख लो. Is it clear? Which part is not clear? जारा बेटा, आपको चैप्टर क्लियर है बेटा? प्रैक्टिस की जरूरत है ऑब्वियसली. द मोर यू प्रैक्टिस फ्लो चार्ट्स.
तो मैक्स नंबर वाला जो है ना 9 के बाद, ये मुझे समझ नहीं.
देखो हमने यहाँ क्या किया है, देखो वी क्वेश्चन क्या कह रहा है बेटा आपका. Joseph has started to draw a flowchart which will input 10 numbers. So you're inputting any 10 numbers and you have to output the largest value of the 10 number. ठीक है, this is why I have used the comparison. Comparison क्या है कि जो भी मैं enter number करूंगा, is it less than equal to the maximum value? Okay, ठीक है, तो it will obviously keep on comparing max value. So अगर वो no है तो क्या होगा, मैं नंबर साइन कर दूंगा मैक्स को. ठीक है ना, ऑब्वियसली मैं अज्यूम करूंगा कि वो नंबर मैक्स है. यस और नो? क्योंकि हर बार आई एम एंटरिंग अ नंबर, तो आई हैव टू सी कि वो नंबर भरा है कि नहीं है. तो हर बार मैं चेक करना पड़ेगा. अगर नहीं है तो नंबर को मैं साइन कर दूंगा मैक्स में. ठीक है, अगर वो है, यस आई फॉरगॉट टू राइट यस, आई हैव टू राइट यस ओवर हियर एज वेल. इसका भी मार्क था यस. अगर वो है तो आई कैन जस्ट इंक्रीमेंट इट, और साथ में क्या करूंगा, इज काउंट इक्वल टू 10. और जब व्हेन काउंट विल बी 10, देन आई हैव टू ब्रेक. ओके, इज तो सॉरी सीरियसली भूल गया लिखना. यहाँ नो आना था और यहाँ यस आना था. यस, सो if count is equal to 10, then we stop and we print the maximum value. If it's not, if its count is not 10, then you go back, you input another number, you compare. Okay, and when you compare, you assign the number to max. Okay, if it has been assigned, अब yes करो, फिर increment करो, फिर देखो count को करो. ये चलता रहेगा काम. Stop कब करेगा? जब count 10 हो जाएगा. So इसके लिए the good way is that you use a pencil, you write it down, and you dry run testing karo and see that if does it work the way. So if I enter a number, if I enter multiple numbers, dry run testing, will it work? Don't write with the pen at the first place. Use a pencil. Okay. So you will have time at the end to come and check back again if it's more complex. Okay. मैं आपको इनफैक्ट और कॉम्प्लेक्स भी भेज देता हूँ कि आपकी ज्यादा अच्छी प्रैक्टिस हो जाए. इसके लिए मैं आपको सीएस के भेज देता हूँ क्योंकि सिलेबस बेटा वही है, कुछ ज्यादा नहीं है. सीएस में से थोड़ा और कॉम्प्लेक्स आते हैं. अगर आप वो कर लोगे तो आपको ज्यादा आसान लग जाएगा. थोड़े से ज्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं, थोड़े से. यस और नो? आप दोबारा इसको देख लो. इज इट क्लियर? एनी कंफ्यूजन?
सर हम एक और क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं?
जी जी बिल्कुल करते हैं. और आया था, बिल्कुल करते हैं. someone asked question, sorry. Yes, clear. Okay, right. हाँ बेटा, अच्छा आपको टारगेट कर रहे हो. आपको और 4-5 और करने पड़ेंगे, फिर आपको और क्लियर होगा. मैं आपको और भी भेज देता हूँ. आई थिंक सो इट केम इन February, March. इट डजंट कम एवरी ईयर, मगर आता है ऑब्वियसली. 80 में लिंकर एंटीवायरस. जी आ गया क्वेश्चन. ये कितने मार्क्स का? 6 मार्क्स का. नहीं, 6, 7, 8 marks. Okay, let's see. So the question is, Mark has a small garage. Okay, he lives in a warm country where plants can die if they are left without water for long. The glass house has a microprocessor controlled sprinkler system and a moisture sensor in the soil. Okay, complete this flowchart to show the process required to control the level of moisture in soil of the glass house. You may assume that the preset value dry has already been input so that the system can test if the amount of moisture in the soil has reached or fallen below a certain level. ठीक है, आपको preset और actual value को पता, आपने काफी दफा पढ़ा हुआ. ठीक है. The user activates the microprocessor system by pressing a switch. Complete the flowchart which inputs the moisture reading, okay, in the glass house and switches the sprinkler on and off according to the value. It also checks if the sprinkler is already on and off before attempting to switch it off. तो हमने किया इसको, मैं थोड़ा यूं कर देता हूँ. Is the system activated? ठीक है. तो ऑब्वियसली मैं स्टेप बाय स्टेप करते हैं ना. तो ऑब्वियसली हम यहाँ कहेंगे यस, we'll say no. ठीक है. We'll right. Is the system activated? Complete the flowchart which inputs the moisture reading. ठीक है. इसके बाद क्या होगा? What is the shape for? What is the shape for?
Input.
Input. So what will we input? We will input what?
Moisture level.
Very good. Input. So moisture level कर लो, इसको लिख लो, या you can name it as
नीचे M level लिखा हुआ है.
M level. ठीक हो गया? बिल्कुल ठीक है. M level एंटर कर दिया हमने, राइट? ओके. सो M level कर दिया हमने, इसको इनपुट M level कर दिया. उसके बाद वो कहते हैं कि is M level greater than dry? ठीक है. If it's greater than dry, then what do we have to do? Obviously, if the M level is greater than dry, तो sprinkler on. तो obviously sprinkler on इसको हम कहेंगे no. If it's no, then हम कहेंगे, क्वेश्चन में उन्होंने कहा था complete the flowchart reading. It also checks if the sprinkler is already on or off before attempting to switch it on or off. ठीक है. Yes. तो हम इधर करेंगे no करेंगे ना, तो हम यहाँ कहेंगे जिस तरह उनका is sprinkler ठीक है, वी ऑलवेज पुट ए क्वेश्चन मार्क, ठीक है, इफ इट्स ऑफ, ठीक है, इफ इट्स ऑफ तो फिर क्या करें? जी, it also checks the sprinkler is already off or before attempting. You may assume that the preset value has already been so that the system can test if the amount of moisture in the soil has reached the following. जी, ओके, सो ये हम कहेंगे इफ स्प्रिंकलर ऑफ, तो हम कहेंगे टर्न ऑन द स्प्रिंग,
सर हम आउटपुट नहीं लिखेंगे पहले?
है तो ये वो नहीं नहीं देखो बात सुन, दिस इज योर मॉनिटरिंग कंट्रोल सिस्टम, इसमें आउटपुट डिस्प्ले नहीं होगी, इसमें आउटपुट विल बी गिवन टू एन एक्चुएटर एक्चुअली ना, आउटपुट होती है। Remember, we have always been referring to actuators as what? Output devices. आपको याद होगा. These are output
Yes.
devices. They always give the output. तो output ही तो होती है actuator की. Sensors भी तो, sensors की भी same shape होती है. Because sensors are input devices. You get my point? ठीक है. इस sprinkler on तो ठीक ये हो गया, और ये होगा कि वही यहाँ होगा ऑपोजिट हो जाएगा, टर्न नहीं सॉरी, टर्न ऑन द, मैंने ऑफ लिख दिया, सॉरी आप लोग नहीं बोले, टर्न ऑन द स्प्रिंकलर, और ये होगा टर्न ऑफ द स्प्रिंकलर, ठीक है। और उसके बाद हमने यस नो लगाने हैं, तो दिस इज वाज ऑब्वियसली योर नो, ओके, दिस वाज योर नो, दिस वाज योर यस, इसके मार्क्स हैं, इन सारों के मार्क्स हैं एक्चुअली, सो यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि यू एंटर ऑल ऑफ दीज हैज अ मार्क, ये भी यस था, ठीक है, और तो कोई नहीं रह गया, यस, सो that's how this is completed, yes or no? It's not
Yes.
very complicated, I don't think it's very complicated, हाँ, मगर अब बेहतर ये है कि अब तैयारी तो कॉम्प्लिकेट वाले की कर लो, तो अगर कॉम्प्लिकेट आ गया इस दफा तो यू शुड बी रेडी फॉर इट, इज दैट क्लियर? ठीक है बेटा।
Yes.
अच्छा, एंड सूडो कोड, हाँ दी सूडो कोड इज फाइन, लाइक मैं सूडो कोड की भी